let's do a chair check. So like Mindy's changing her chair right now because she has a comfy, slidey office chair. And the best way to do yoga is, yes, you should be comfortable, but you should be in a chair that won't roll back and forth. You know, I have my chair here in my little yoga studio on a yoga mat. You don't need a yoga mat, but you just want to make sure you're not going to slip and slide just for safety. So if you have to do anything, then today I'm going to talk a little bit about props. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'm going to use props to do some work with our neuropathy. Yay. Yay. Oh, you got blocks too.
I got
And
one.
a strap and 2 balls in a sock.
Got everything.
Okay, Jonathan, did you have the ball in a sock?
A sock.
That's okay. A tennis ball will work. Okay, Kim, you got it.
I can get a sock.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna cue for a sock or this other little prop that I told you guys about last week.
I
know.
Yoga tune-up balls.
Yeah, yoga tune-up balls are good because they're squishy, right?
Right.
But a tennis ball is cheaper and it will do. And so.
What about this?
Yeah, you know what that's good for? Is that a slow-mo? Does it squeeze it? Does it, yeah. So I have that on my list to talk about. I have one of them right here. And I wanted to show it to you. I don't have any, we're not going to use it today because it's something you would have to buy. So Leslie has one, Jonathan has one. But
I have one too, but mine's flat.
What's that?
I have one too, but mine's flat. Okay.
So it doesn't matter what color it is. Yeah. These balls are kind of nice because they're not filled up. And what they're great for is on our back to help us sit up straight. I mean, these are so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just have it on my back and I'm leaning against the chair. And, you know, it's like, because we all kind of, you know, sometimes we slump because we're relaxing. But most of the poses we do and the postures and the warm-ups, we want a nice tall back. So those slow-mo balls will be great for you. And even when you're doing the exercises that we have recorded for you, so you'll have 4 weeks of recorded exercises and also the webinar, which was like about 20 minutes, I think. You could use your slow-mo ball on your back to help you stand up straight. And if you don't have it, like I said, for the first class, you can use a blanket in the back of your chair. And that's just like a kind of a cue to help you kind of stay upright. Okay. Also, your feet should be on the ground because in everything that we're doing when we're stretching up, you should be feeling your feet on the ground unless we're actually lifting a foot for some kind of an exercise. But if I'm like 5'6½", so, and my chair is really low, so I don't really have any trouble with my feet on the ground. But if you do have trouble, you can, if some of you have blocks at home, you can put the blocks on the ground and then put your feet on the blocks. If you're shorter or the chair is higher. Okay, so I just want to start out with some breathing with a sigh, and I think some of this that we do today will be new with the props, and some of it will be review. So let's take an inhale. Now, when we inhale, your arm, so you're sitting up in your chair and you're feeling your feet, both of your feet on the ground. And then your arms, however your arms want to come up today, that's the part that's totally up to you. And then on the exhale, we're gonna bring them down. So they can come up like a little bit or not at all today. Sabra's very active. My dog is very active, so you'll probably see her shortly. Okay, so let's do 3 of those. Breathe in and then sigh out with a ha, ha. Beautiful. One more time, 2 more times. Inhale. Ha. And last time. Ha. Yeah, you can yawn. Sometimes that'll bring out a yawn. Now we're gonna do 3 more breaths with movement, joyful breaths. And this time we'll do a la. And we'll inhale up, exhale la. So I don't just do that because I want you to be embarrassed by singing with me. I do that because it'll help you extend your exhale. If you're singing, humming, all that stuff is really good for us. So let's do 2 more times. Inhale. La. Great. And when you're ready, inhale. La. Good, excellent. And let's just roll our shoulders back. The other thing I want to do is a few mudras today. Okay, so the first mudra of the day is called Hansi Mudra. So what we do is we take the 3 fingers, the middle, and then the ring finger and the index finger, and we place the tips on the tip of our thumbs. So our little pinky's out, and all the other fingers are on the tips of our thumbs. Okay, good, good. This is Hansi Mudra. And then you can relax your arms in your lap, so no tension, and just notice if you feel, this is called gesture of the inner smile. So sometimes when you just feel like you want to smile, you might do Hansi Mudra. And this is a very interesting mudra. It releases tension in our jaw. Mudras are very subtle. So if you have a busy mind and you're thinking about a million things, you might not notice how the mudras feels to you. But if you can quiet down a little bit, and if I'm not talking and you try this in a quiet moment, you might notice, oh, it's brought some release of tension in my jaw. It's kind of magical. This is also one for raised immunity. So we should all be doing Hansi Mudra for our immunity to go up, and it just raises our positive qualities. So it's kind of a happy mudra. Most of the mudras are kind of happy mudras. So, okay, so then you can release that mudra, and we'll do some prop work as I was telling you about. I'm just gonna go to this chair. So we're going to start with the tennis ball or the 2 tennis balls in the sock. So Jonathan, I don't know if you didn't hear last time, and somebody else is joining us. Welcome. All I did was I took 2 regular tennis balls. I stuffed them in a sock. You could use like an athletic sock. Use something that you're not, you don't like, not your favorite sock. A dog. She wants the ball, but you just shove them both in. Here, Summer. And then just tie a knot, and you have this little prop that you can use that we use quite a bit with chair yoga. It's very helpful. So let's start with the bottom half of our body. And if you only have one tennis ball, this is fine. So what you're going to do is, so now you have, if you're working with the sock, you have the 2 tennis balls and you have like a little tail here. Why do we like these 2 tennis balls? Well, it has that little middle part, which we'll use, I'll show you. But also the balls won't get away from you. And a lot of times, if you're using one ball, it's going to roll, or your dog might get it. So, so let's start with our toes and heels, and just putting that ball on the ground if you're working with 1 or if you're working with 2. And the first thing we want to do, even if we have the sock, is we want to just use the 1 ball. So I'm using just the 1 ball, and I'm just rolling back and forth on the 1 ball. Even in my sock, I'm just starting with that. This is really good for neuropathy. We were mentioning this last week. We want to feel our feet. We want to feel our feet, and we want to look at our feet. We want to make that brain-foot connection. So good for our brain. And then we did this one of the times in classes, but I just wanted to repeat it because somebody was asking about neuropathy. So I'm going to do this with the 1 ball just so it's really clear, but just do it with your 2 balls. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on my toes. So I'm thinking of my foot in 5 different sections, Deborah. And one section is under my toes. Then I go a little bit farther back, like right on the base of my toes, and I push down. Now I'm going in the middle of my feet. Now you want to be careful in the 4th and 5th position. This is the 3rd and the 4th position. This is the 3rd, because there is a nerve ending, but you can push down and no pain. And then the 4th position, not all the way back at the heel yet, and I'm pushing down. I'm just pushing with my weight down on the ball. And then the 5th position is when I'm pushing on my heel, and I can bring my toes to the ground and push down on my heel. So you're going to notice if you do these that your foot is just going to feel a little more stable on the ground. And so we can go back. I'm going to give that ball to my dog. And we'll go back to the sock. And we'll just, after we do those presses, we'll stay on the same size. We're rolling up and down. Now, those of you that have a sock, you can put the outer edge of your foot in the middle of those 2 balls and roll it back and forth. Now raise your hand if that feels good. I know, it feels great, doesn't it? And then on the inner part of your foot, you can kind of finagle your foot around a little bit and try and get your inner part sort of in the middle of those 2 balls. Good. So again, no pain, and and also if you do have a dog, she's not really aware that there's 2 tennis balls. Okay, and then relax that foot. Now, before we move to the other side, we just always want to notice sensations in the body. And I can, just by doing that little bit of ball work, I feel more sensations in the bottom of my 1 foot. So that's always good for neuropathy, is to get those feet to where they're moving around. And like last time, or one of the classes we had, I talked about that fascia we have, which is almost like a plastic covering of our organs, and it gets tight. And especially as we age, it gets tighter. So anything we can do to help that along is great. So we're just stretching it out. So let's start again with the other foot. And again, I'm just going to do the push and release. So I'm pushing on my toes. And then I'm going down just a little bit under the toes, pushing, push, push, and release. Then in the middle of my foot, I'm going to be a little cautious because of the nerve ending, but I'm going to push. And then the fourth position, again, you still might be feeling that nerve ending, so you decide here. And then the fifth position, you could put your toes on the ground and then push your heel. And then take that ball and just roll up and down. If it's only one tennis ball, you can still go on the outsides and on the insides of that one ball. If you have the two tennis ball, you can put the outer edges of your foot in the middle of the two balls and go back and forth. And then you can put the inner edges of the foot and go back and forth. So just bringing some attention to the feet. Good. And then bring your, your ball, you can have your ball in your hands and just feel your feet, feel the sensations in your feet. And before we move on, we're going to use that tennis ball again. But before we move on, let's do our toes up and down, and let's do them with the fingers like Leslie taught us last week. So the fingers come up and the toes come up and then down. We'll do that 4 more times. Up and down. Toes are coming up and down. Good. And then pause, and then we'll do the heels up, so the back of our hands, the heel of our hands come up and down. And let's do that 3 more times. And then relax. And then let's take our ball again, and I want to show you a couple more things, well, several more things you could do with either one tennis ball or the two. So I'm going to take my tennis ball, be under my knee, I'm going to hold it right there, and I can either lift and lower that knee, that's one option, or I can hold my knee up and make sure that ball stays. And if I hold my knee up, holding the ball, I can get a little ankle roll here in one direction and in the other. But you can also be just squeezing, really good for our muscles. And then release the ball, relax that leg. This is all like strength training too, this ball work. It's surprising. You could be doing this with the one ball. We're going to do it on the other side. So I'm sitting up tall and I'm just deciding, do I want to just lift and lower on this leg? Does that feel kind of good? I can hold the ball, or do I want to pull my calf and just squeeze that ball? And then if I do that, maybe I might want to do a little ankle circle on this side. And then opposite. And then just release that leg, relax that leg. And then there's several different things that sometimes we do a whole class with the ball. I just want to show you like 4 more things. So we can put it under our thigh. Now the thigh is very big and long. It's a long muscle. So a lot of times when you go to a class that's using these kind of balls, they might do it in 2 or 3 different places. But once it's under the thigh, you can take that leg out and in and you'll feel that kind of like a massage on your thigh. Or you can actually swing the leg a little bit. Go to a class and then release that and take the ball out. If you were going to go to a class using the balls for the whole thing, they would have you do that in maybe 2 places on the thigh. And then let's do it on the other side. Now I can feel a difference in my thighs, you know, definitely more engaging in the one that I had the ball under. So let's do it on the other side. Just pick a nice place under the thigh. And then just, you know, kind of move around a little bit. You can just decide what feels better to you. Either side to side feels kind of nice to me, but you can also do like put your legs in a circle or up and down. It feels actually quite good. And then when you're done with that side, release and take the ball out. Now, some other things that we won't cover because there's just not enough time to do this. We'll come back to this in my next series. Is you could take this ball or one tennis ball and put it under your booty, one butt cheek, and this will loosen up that glute muscle. And you could do like when it's under your glute, you could do little cat cows when it's under your glute. And I'll just, if some of you have started to do it, then do it on the other side just so you feel even. You could do little cat cows, or you could do just little wiggles, you know, you're just right under the butt cheek. Again, you don't want any pain, so I have a lot of padding, so I'm not going to feel any pain. But okay, the other thing that you can do is you can put this on the back of your chair. Make sure you have a place to set it. And it should be, if you're working with the 2 balls, it should be one on either side of the spine. So Jonathan, I don't want you to do this because it might be weird to try and get it on one side of the spine. But with the 2 balls, you can kind of put it on both, one on each side. And then you can, again, do that same thing, little cat cows. All right, just giving yourself a massage. So depending on the back of your chair, there might be a couple different places that you could put that ball. I mean, it's probably okay for you to try it if you have the one tennis ball. I think it's probably okay. I just don't want you to push too much into right on the spine. So to me, that feels good. Is anybody trying it? And if you are, does it feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay, let me do a couple more before we move on. Elbows. So we want to hold the ball or balls in our elbow. So you can do this with 1 ball or 2 balls. And again, you can decide, do you want to squeeze and release? You could squeeze and release and hold that. You could bring the elbow up a little bit and make some circles, you know, all the while you're squeezing that ball. And then pause. If you took that elbow up, by the way, you could also rotate the wrist. So that's another way to like kind of make it multifunctional work. And then relax. You might just notice the difference between the 2 arms. You know, some of these subtle exercises, I always feel like my arm grows. And then we could do it on the other side. Again, we could squeeze, hold it into the elbow, squeeze and release. Squeeze it and release. Or if we want to just hold it up, we could hold it up and rotate our wrist. Get a little wrist action. And then release that one as well. Now, if you have just the one ball, you're gonna hold the ball up, and if you have the sock, just hold the sock, but focus on the one ball, the top ball with the tail hanging, yeah? And then see if your elbows wanna come together. If they don't wanna come, that's okay, just however far they wanna come. And then inhale up and down. You're gonna feel this in your shoulders, up and down. So we want to go gently. If you have any rotator cuff or shoulder injuries, we don't want to make anything worse. And then relax. And then if you take the ball or balls and put them on your thighs, then you can work your hands out. Give your hands a little exercise by rolling the ball on your quads. So you're kind of doing double duty again. You're getting some release of your fingers. All your fingers should feel good. And you're also getting a nice massage on your quads. And then we'll release that and we'll bring it to the other side. And we'll do that again on the other side. Just try and get your fingers. If you have two balls, they can be around the one ball. They can be around both balls. We're just kind of stretching our fingers, giving them a little attention. And then release that. And the last thing we'll do with this thing is, you can do this with one ball too. We want to put the ball like on our neck, above our shoulder, and then bring our shoulder up and then relax our head on the ball or balls. And so what we want to do in this position is we want to bring any tension out of the jaw and the neck. If this isn't for you, if you have pain in your neck when you're doing this, this isn't for you. For me, this feels really nice. But you have to really be true to yourself on this. Release any tension in the face or the jaw. We're just breathing here. And then when we're ready, we can release, take the ball or balls and put them on the other shoulder. Bring the shoulder up, and then the head goes down on the other side. Try and relax the other shoulder. Try and relax the jaw, relax the mouth, relax the eyes. And release. Now, I'm not going to demo this because it's a laying down thing, but have any of you had cranial sacral work? Just raise your hand if you've tried cranial sacral work where they work on your head. Okay, some of you have. I just love it. And I loved it so much that the woman said, just use 2 tennis balls in a sock and gently put, when you're laying down, and gently put your prop on your head just for a few minutes. And so that is sort of a nice way to get a cheap cranial sacral workout. Just even putting this sock on my head, my scalp, you might want to try this, and moving it around, to me, feels fantastic. I'm not doing it hard, but I'm doing it enough that I feel it. And I don't know what it is about me and my cranial. I think I just need some cranial massage or something. But that feels fantastic. Okay, so let's put the balls down and we'll relax for a minute. Just relax. We're going to have another mudra soon, but before we do, I'm going to do a few more things. So we'll just do a little work without the ball. So again, we're going to sit up tall. We're going to raise one of our arms on the inhale. We did this already. And then we're going to lean over to the opposite side on the exhale. And then we're going to breathe here 2 full breaths. And when we're done with our 2 full breaths on the next inhale, then we'll come all the way up, reach for the ceiling, and then let that arm float down. Hold the chair with that arm. The next inhale, bring the arm up. And then on the exhale, bring the body over. Lateral stretch, breathing here, 2 full breaths. Next time you're going to take an inhale, come all the way up, reach for the ceiling, and then let that hand slow motion down. Good. And then we'll do a few shoulder shrugs here. Inhaling our shoulders up towards our neck and then exhaling. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale and one more time. Excellent. And then we'll do our cat-cow. So we've done this before. Our hands are sort of on our thighs or our knees, wherever it feels comfortable. On the inhale, we're actually moving, opening our chest, moving our shoulders back. Our shoulder blades come towards each other. On the exhale, we're rounding our back, releasing our head. And then inhale. When you're ready, we'll come back to cow. And we'll do this 2 more rounds. Exhale. And 1 more round. So and when you're done, you can just relax. Okay, I'm going to teach another mudra. This one's called Akasha mudra. I'm going to come a little bit closer for this mudras. Maybe when we start our session again, my hair will be completely white. You won't recognize me. Okay, so tips of the thumb to the tips of the middle fingers. So this is Akasha mudra, and then relax the arms down at the knees. So this is what it looks like. And then I've just relaxed my arms down on my knees, my shoulders. I really make an effort to relax my shoulders, which for me means, you know, I might have to shrug them, roll them back a few times. Okay, and you might close your eyes, and I'll tell you a little bit about this mudra. This mudra is used to sense spaciousness in the body. It helps people with hypothyroid. It helps us get in touch with our intuition, and it's opening to new possibilities. So it's, some people say when they do this mudra, unlimited possibilities. Now, when I do this mudra, I feel very open in my heart. So the mudras are very subtle. Like I said, sometimes you have to try them a few times and you're like, oh, I think I do feel something. Okay, next we're going to look at the strap. So some of you were going to get a bathrobe strap, which is fine. I can't find mine. Or some of you have a elastic strap. That's fine too. Okay, so let me get my strap, or a yoga strap. That's fine too. So we're going to do just a couple things with our strap today. So the first thing we're going to do is hold on to our strap and let it go above our head. So, you know, just where, and we're pulling on the strap. So it's kind of nice because we have this pull, we have this strap we're pulling, so it's kind of helping us. Okay, so what I wanted you to do here was, let me just see what I wanted you to do here. Oh, I think I just wanted you to first just inhale, and on the exhale, let it come behind your head. Now do this slowly because you'll feel the shoulders and the shoulder blades here. So all the while we're pulling on the strap, inhale up. So see how my hands kind of are gonna stay out wide. Exhale down, doesn't have to come all the way down. You find your edge. And then all the way up, good. Now hold them up and then we'll do the twist. So we're holding the straps and we're twisting over to one side and we're gonna breathe here, a couple of breaths, tall back. And then the next time you inhale, we're gonna come back to center. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale to the other side. Pause here in this twist with our arms up. If your arms are getting tired, you feel free to come down. Trust yourself. One more breath. And then come to center and then come all the way down. Now we're not going to do a lot with straps, but I did want to show you one other thing that I often do with my strap, and I do it sometimes I often do it laying down, but you can also do it sitting. So I'm putting the strap on one foot, the ball of my feet, and then notice that I'm going to keep my elbows in towards my body, and then I can lift my leg up. So I'm trying to release any tension I might have in my jaw. You know, I don't want any added tension. This might not be for you, but it's kind of a good hamstring stretch. And then release that. And so typically we might do that a couple times, but I'm only doing like a little bit of a demo of the different straps. So let's do the other
So
foot.
I just want to say mine broke.
Oh, yeah, because it was an elastic band. Was it an elastic band, Leslie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, I noticed some of you had elastic bands, but if you have a bathrobe or a piece of rope,
Yeah.
that would be probably better.
Okay.
Yeah, but the stretchy ones, I'm afraid of the stretchy ones. So if you have a stretchy one, don't do this one. But if you just want to finish up on the other side, we'll just put that on the heel, on the ball of our foot, our elbow tucked in, and yeah. And we're not going to do this, but sometimes you'll go to a yoga class and they'll have you bring the foot out and in, cross over, but we're not going to do that today. We just wanted to give you a demo. So you can put the straps down. Sorry about the casualties in the strap. Okay, and let's do the forward fold. So inhaling a tall back, and then exhaling, we're going to forward fold. We're not going to let our head go below our heart. Oh, that feels so good. And then come all the way up. Now, anytime we're pressing our belly to our thighs, we know that the colon likes that a lot. So we're doing good work for our digestion. Let's do that one more time. Bending down, no strain or stress, just feeling the belly against the thighs. And then coming up. And let's do our warrior two. So we did this already, where we bring one knee out to the side, however far it wants to go. It doesn't have to be parallel to the mat, but it can be. As far as it should feel good on your hips, no strain. Bring your arms up. Sometimes I have to check my back arm because it goes down. And then the gaze is over the arm that the knee is facing forward, not sideways. That's warrior two. And if it feels kind of hard on your arms today, you can always bring your arms to your hips. Up to you. And then let's everybody bring our arms to our hips. You know, I just want to demo something. If you're ever going to do this warrior two at home, you can also like do kind of a exalted warrior unseated by bringing this over. So when we have our other session again, I'll expand a little bit. Let's bring that leg in, and let's bring the opposite leg out, sitting up nice and tall, real integrity in our position. And that leg doesn't have to come out. In fact, my left leg doesn't want to come out very far today, so I'm going to be kind to it. And then I'm gazing opposite, and I'm breathing, no holding my breath. Now the gaze isn't as important, so if that feels bad on your neck, just gaze forward. And then bring your arms down when you're ready, and then bring your leg forward. Okay, I also wanted to do sort of, just to say that if you do some work, one of the greatest things about that you can do for neuropathy is to actually give yourself a foot massage. So if you can lift one leg up on your knee, or even cross, or just even so you can grab it, even if it's down here, and then you're going to grab that foot. I'm just going to bring mine up so you can see, and we're actually going to massage our foot. We're going to massage our foot. So just, you could squeeze and release, or you could do like little circles. The other thing is that for a friend of mine that has diabetes, we do this thing where we put each finger between the toes. So if you're struggling with neuropathy, I would try this if I were you. And I don't have a pedicure, so don't look too closely. So, but anyway, that's all good for the feet. Really good for the feet. We have to take care of our feet, and we're looking at our feet, and we're paying attention to our feet, and that's good for all of us, whether we have neuropathy or not. And then gently place that leg down, and we'll do it on the other side. Now, sometimes one side, the leg comes up, and the other side, the leg doesn't want to come up. That's fine. You just, you can reach down, or you can pass. But if you can grab that leg somehow, and then give that leg a massage, yeah. And then sometimes, people will do like, make their leg like the little baby, and but we don't really have time for that. Okay, last thing I want to do, and I will have a final mudra, but before we do the final mudra, I wanted to do eye yoga. Did I do eye yoga here yet?
No.
Oh, I want to do eye yoga. It's one of my favorite things to do. So, and it also comes with a massage. So, well, this is really good for dementia. It's like I read a study about it. So basically, we're relaxing in our chair. You don't have to be, you just want to be relaxed. Relax your face. So the idea is your head stays still, but your eyes are going to move. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move our eyes up and down. Up, looking at the ceiling and looking at the floor, or thereabouts. And two more times, up and down, up and down. And then relax your eyes, close your eyes for a second before we do that next one. So for the next one, we're going to do right center, left center. Right center, left center. We'll do that a series of times. So I'm looking to my right, or you look to your whichever direction, and then center, and then I'm looking to my left and center, and then my right and center, and my left, center, right, center, and left, center. One more time, right, center, left, center. Good, and then just close your eyes for a second, and then we'll do the diagonals. So I'm gonna go up in one direction and down in the opposite direction. So I'm looking one corner up and the opposite corner down. We'll do it on both sides, but we'll do this one corner, same corner up, opposite corner down. 2 more times. Same corner up, opposite corner down. Last time on this side. And then relax your eyes for a minute. And then we're going to do the opposite diagonal. So we're going to do the ceiling and the floor. So go ahead when you're ready. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor. 2 more times. Last time. And then to end, we'll just do 3 more up and down. So up, eyes down, eyes up, eyes down. Last time up, last time down. Good. Now you want to rub your hands together to generate some heat. And then gently close your eyes and place your hands over your eyes. They've had a workout, so we want to give them, a few breaths here of just relaxing. They gave us their all. Take 2 more full breaths here with your eyes covered. Now, while you're here, you can look at what I'm doing, but then you'll get the hang of it pretty fast and you can close your eyes. So I'm starting with my forehead. I'm finding the little bone above my eyes, and I'm just doing little circles with 1 or 2 fingers, and I'm following that bone gently, I'm following that bone all the way out to the corner of my eyes. This feels really good to me. And then find the bottom bone. I'm finding the bottom bone underneath my eyes, and I'm following little circles. I'm taking those circles all the way to my tips of my bridge of my nose, and then I'm giving that some circle. And then I'm coming down to the sides of each of the nostrils. I feel the jawline, and I'm just going to stop here and give that a little bit of circles. And then come away from the nose, and you'll find the cheekbones. And take your fingers and go all the way up to the ears with the outer ears with your fingers. And that should feel very good. So we're just giving a little massage to our outer ears. Okay, and then bring your fingers down to your jawline. And, this can be done like with 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. It doesn't really matter. We're just making little circles, and we're coming down the jawline to the chin, all the way to the chin. And just giving that a little massage. Your face should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, this isn't for you. And then relax your hands, release your hands. Keep your eyes closed if it's okay. And just take about 3 deep breaths. So hopefully that felt relaxing and good. And I wanted to offer one last mudra before we close. This is the Mandala mudra. So we're going to take our left hand and just like kind of cup it. And then take the back of our right hand and place it in the left hand, in the left palm. And then we're going to take our thumbs and make kind of a circle with the tips of our thumbs. So it should look like this. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, and then bring that all down to your lap. So keeping that mudra, but resting that in your lap, the hands in your lap. So this is a mudra that will offer us freedom and unity within our body, mind, and spirit. This is a mudra that encourages physical functionality to be raised. I find it to be quite nurturing. And sometimes when we do this in my yoga classes, we might say a silent affirmation like, I am whole and complete. Thank you, Sabra. Sabra's doing a little commentary on the mudra. I am whole and complete, nothing to add, nothing to subtract. And then you can release the mudra. And if you're tired, that's good because I did a couple of very relaxing things. The eye yoga is kind of a wonderful thing to do right before a nap. And the mandala mudra is very relaxing too. So did anybody have any questions?
I thought the eye exercises made me rather dizzy, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, Jonathan, is we want to always monitor our own self. So if you had told me, I probably would have said, like, do half of them. Do half of them. Like if I'm doing 6, you do 2 or 3. Because it is it's a kind of a workout for your eyes. And if you're not used to it, it can make you a little dizzy. So I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh, it's all right.
Anything else?
Can I just say something really quickly about this mudra? This is how I teach my little tiny dancers how to do ballet fingers. We start here and then go to ballet fingers.
Oh,
I
you
thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's
This is how we learn
fantastic.
how to do our, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. If they're getting all these benefits from here, this should be simple, you know?
So the little dancers do this. And
Yeah.
what does it do for them? Does it help them?
Well, this is just the precursor to the way you hold your fingers for ballet, which is here. So they can identify where their hands go.
Oh.
I just thought that was interesting. If they're getting the benefits you talked about, like the open heart when they're doing this, then this should be easy.
Yeah, yeah. I do use that mudra a lot, so that's cool. Well, this is a mudra that we always do, Anjali mudra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like this mudra a lot. And then now that we're on Zoom all the time, we're all doing this.
Doing what?
The heart mudra. The little heart with our hands. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of cool that because mudras are like thousands of years old, and so I'm kind of glad that you're using it in dance class.
What's the?
Make a heart with your hands.
Put your thumbs down and just curve your.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Well, I'm doing a lot of Zoom meetings in my life, and so when we say, bye or love you, we sometimes do this.
I see. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Huh.
Well, thank you guys for participating in the 4-week yoga session.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste
you.
to you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes. Namaste to all of you. Stay safe.